This is the Outlap F1 podcast featuring America's own Cody, Andy, and Deanna. Your one-stop shop for Formula One news, insights, race previews, and reviews. Join us on the Outlap.
All right, folks, I think I only got one sound effect to describe this weekend. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Title fight, round 24. 3-1 does not go. One will come out. Two will be annoyed. And one of us will be happy, and one of us will probably be a little sad. I don't know, but we'll find out. Anyway, welcome on in. This is season 7. I have been horrible with the episode numbers this year. People who out there are listening obviously don't think I can count. It's because I have different numbering systems. There's the one that gives it to me in the actual number of episodes, which was 46. The actual episode number for this one was 45. I know I said 46 last time. I caught it right as I was about to post the episode and went, wait a minute, that's wrong. So I changed it. So the episode is titled correctly in text, just everything coming out of my mouth. Don't believe a word of it. It's not real. So I apologize for that, but it's 45. That's how many episodes you actually have. It's the Outlap F1 podcast. You've got Andy and I'm along with Cody tonight for one final preview of the season. It's our last one. Cody, my man, how is it hanging?
It's hanging pretty well, and I'm very, very excited for this race. It is one that I will not be sad about having to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning for. All this said, I really hope we're not just like overhyping this and it ends up being like a McLaren 1-2 that they just run away with it and it's not exciting at all, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, I'll take that.
I know you will.
But, even if we set it up that way, the recent events would lead me to not believe that that's going to happen. So anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. That's for sure. But we are glad you are joining us on this lovely cold as F weekend here in the great city of Chicago. There's like a foot of snow on the ground and it snowed again today. So Abu Dhabi is going to make us, at least if nothing else, feel a little warm. But you can find our show on X, on Instagram, sometimes on Discord, Reddit, and of course here on YouTube. Even though we won't necessarily have visuals for this episode, we probably will for the final review. Video rendering is a pain in the butt, I'm just going to tell you, and it just takes a while. So I apologize for that. But anyway, at Outlap F1 Podcast is the handle for all of those places. If you enjoy what you're hearing, I'm only going to say that for this one. If you want to either leave us a like on YouTube or subscribe to that channel, if you're on a favorite podcasting app, you can click the 5-star button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, it'll help our little endeavor come up a little bit better in search results for content like this. You can email the show as always, outlapf1@gmail.com. We'll get your thoughts to us. Thank you so much to these people who have stuck with us all season long. You all know the list. Dean Warwick, Yuri Dolchester, Paul Weaver, Quentin Warden, Kevin Kelly, Regan Stanzik, Timothy Brown, and of course, Jonathan Scott. If you'd like to add your name to that prestigious list, there is a link in our show notes. It's our anchor page, $5. Do you have to give us any money? No. We're just glad you're listening. That's first and foremost. But if you wanted to, we would definitely take it. But where would it go? It would not go into our pockets or not buy food or anything like that. It was just going to go to improve the technology and keep our recording platform up to date and active. I was scrolling through some of our sound earlier as we were getting ready for the show, and there was a lot that I put in here and that I'd forgotten about. So there's some interesting stuff for sure. But anyway, particulars now done and out of the way. The big news between the pack up from Qatar and now the race in Abu Dhabi, other than the championship clinching scenarios, which I'm sure, Cody, you've got them all memorized by now.
More or less.
All right, so we don't need to talk about that. We all kind of know what those are. Basically, it's Lando Norris. If he's any lower than third, it gets a lot more spicy and very quickly. But the other big thing of news is we finally now, with 1 weekend to go, we finally have our 2026 F1 driver lineup set. And big drum roll here, Verstappen will partner with Isaac Hajar. big shocker there. We all kind of knew it. It was the worst kept secret in paddock. Came out a day. They made me a liar. Came out a day before I thought it was going to. So that has been announced. And a joke that by the end of next year, Cody, you're going to be sick of me saying this because I'm going to say it a lot. The law firm of Lindblad and Lawson, I love the alliteration there, will partner at Racing Bulls next year. So it's the L and the L going at it for the two Racing Bulls. Arvid Lindblad gets the call up. The guy without a seat is Yuki Tsunoda. He will remain in the Red Bull family, however, as their test and reserve driver. Cody, you've obviously got the Red Bull hat on. You follow those teams really closely. What's your thought on Isaac Hadjar getting moved up and Arvid Lindblad getting a seat in Formula One?
It's definitely not surprising. It's pretty much what everyone thought was going to happen, was that Isaac Hadjar was going to get a shot. Lawson was going to stick around and serve as a place marker for Arvid Lindblad. Now, I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move to do this now because we are going into an all new rules era where you're going to have brand new engines, brand new aerodynamics, chassis. You're going to drive these cars in a very different way, and you're starting your development from scratch here. So I think this is going to be a good time for someone to really anybody to show their pace against Max Verstappen here, because they're not jumping into a car that's been developed with Verstappen's input for like 4 or 5 years. You're starting from the beginning. So really both drivers' inputs are going to be used there. So I think it's a really good time to get a new driver in that seat. Isaac Hadjar has shown himself to be very talented and pretty mature as a driver so far this year. He's performed a lot better than I thought he would. And yeah, it sucks for Liam Lawson, but the fact that he got kicked out of that seat means he's going to have to fight tooth and nail to get back in there now. But he does get to stick around. I'm not really surprised at all that Yuki Tsunoda is out of the drive. He's been decent at Racing Bulls the past bunch of years, but he hasn't really ever shown me anything that he's like, the next big thing. And once he ended up in that Red Bull seat this year, he started off okay, and then he kind of started to flounder partway through the season and now has been performing very poorly. So I guess the big question mark here is Arvid Lindblad. Is he coming up from F2 too quickly? He did like decent in F2 in this first year, but nothing that really has like blown anyone out of the water. So I think maybe they're rushing things a little bit, hoping it's going to be kind of like a Kimi Antonelli situation where they're just like, we're gonna throw you in there and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean it's the move that was expected. I think from you add up all the pieces, and this was probably the only thing that probably made sense. Yeah, I don't think Yuki Tsunoda did ever enough to say the Red Bull second seat should stay his. Good. What a 12 months for Isaac Hadjar from going from, not making the formation lap in Australia to now being promoted to the full Red Bull team. So his journey across this F1 season has been notable. He's flashed. He's done the things that I would expect. Red Bull want to stay within the family. They obviously have plenty of drivers, and this is in line with the pattern. It's Isaac's turn. I certainly hope they give him more than 2 races. I'm pretty sure they're going to. I'm glad that they didn't just kick Liam Lawson all the way back out, because that could have been something that could have been in the cards somewhere. So I think for right now, I think this move makes sense. Like you said, coming into new regulations, it's the best chance, I think, for equal or input for the second seat that they've had in a very, very long time. So we're going to see if Isaac Hadjar is the magic. They've been looking for 10 years, so one of them's bound to work at some point. So let's hope that young Isaac Hadjar can fill the shoes and do the job. All right. Well, that's pretty much basically it for the news segment. I mean, obviously, like we said, the other big story is obviously the Drivers' Championship. It is a 12-point lead for Lando Norris against Max Verstappen, now firmly in P2, and a 16-point lead in front of Oscar Piastri. So that leaves a bunch of different scenarios out there. Like I said, the ones like if Lando is anything lower than third, that's when you really start paying attention to where everybody else is, because Lando, at least going into this, controls he's in a position of, at least to the extent he can, to the extent a racing driver can, I don't want to say control his own destiny, but he kind of can. If he puts the car and keeps it in podium position, he will be the world champion. If it's beyond that, get out your calculators and here we go. So that's kind of going to be the other huge story coming obviously into the weekend. All right, well, let's just dive in. Yas Marina awaits. Here come the Pirelli track facts. They're, like I said, brought to us by the good folks at Pirelli Motorsport. One more time in 2025. One more time for these set of cars, man. Cody, tell us about the Yas Marina circuit.
Formula One heads out to Abu Dhabi to wrap up the season at the Yas Marina circuit, located on Yas Island and Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Number of laps for this Grand Prix is 58, and the length of the circuit is 5.281 kilometers or 3.281 miles. And the tire selection from Pirelli for this race is going to be the C3, C4, and C5 tire compounds. And their track characteristics are a 4 out of 5 for traction, 4 out of 5 for braking, 3 out of 5 for lateral load, 3 out of 5 for tire stress, 4 out of 5 for track evolution, 2 out of 5 for asphalt grip, a 3 out of 5 for asphalt abrasion, and a 3 out of 5 for downforce. Qualifying lap record here under the current configuration of the circuit goes to Max Verstappen, and he set that in 2021 at the end of the last set of regulations with a 1 minute 22.109 seconds, while the overall lap record under the current configuration, that goes to Kevin Magnussen. He did that last season in 2024 with a 1 minute 25.637 seconds. Most wins at this track is going to go to Lewis Hamilton, who has won here 5 times. But Max Verstappen has been very successful here as well with 4 wins. And then third place is Sebastian Vettel with 3 wins. Most wins at this track as far as the constructors are concerned. It's been a really good place for both Red Bull and Mercedes over the years. 7 wins for Red Bull, 6 wins for Mercedes. And McLaren is starting to show their stuff here as well in the last couple of years with 2 wins for them. And then lastly, we do have 1 Lotus Renault win here. And that was done by Kimi Raikkonen, 2012, when he was left all alone. What's the circuit like, Andy?
They left him alone. Sorry, I forgot the sound there. But this Herman Tilke design track is dominated by its 1.2 kilometer straight between turns 5 and 6, which, with slow speed corners marking its beginning and end, makes it a honeypot for those overtaking moves. Other highlights include the tricky run through turns 10 into and 11 into 12, which forces the drivers to brake hard with bags of lateral load still on the car. Track modifications since 2021 have shortened the lap slightly to the 5.28 kilometer format we have now. You get that big spoon section in there, and it has worked. It's added to some excitement. It's made the race a little more unpredictable, depending on the year. As for the weather, this track is pretty much right down the middle of what you want Formula One-wise. The weather is going to be pretty much right down the right down the middle of what you would want weather-wise. For qualifying, some clouds in the morning will give way to mainly sunny skies in the afternoon. Hazy, but a high near 81. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Temps will drop to 71 after nightfall with only a 5% chance of rain. Before the race, a mainly sunny sky during the day, high of 82, winds out of the northeast 10 to 15, a little more gusty, but temps dropping to near 70 degrees near night after nightfall. After the sun goes down, we know we start in daylight and end at night. Only a scant 3% chance of rain. All right. So it doesn't look like we're going to see intermediate or wet weather tires, even though we saw them a lot this year in places we never, ever thought we would. Las Vegas especially being the one. But Cody, big thoughts here in the weather or anything else?
Mostly that I wish I had some Abu Dhabi temperatures here right about now.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm about to go work outside tomorrow morning. It's going to be swell in that 10-degree weather. So yeah, 71 after nightfall sounds fantastic right about now. But really, you don't really see a whole lot of weather mix up here in Abu Dhabi. It's pretty much always dry. It's at nighttime, so the temperatures are pretty consistent and controlled, and you're not getting really the effects of the sunlight bearing down on that asphalt. So as far as that's concerned, pretty stable place to have the finale for the season. But I don't want stable. I want Brazilian mayhem.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we've seen it. Some races are kind of just processional. We've seen other when the title has come down here, we've seen, obviously everybody knows 2021. We know what happened there. We don't need to replay that or open that wound for anybody who's out there. The other part was the other notable race that was for the title when Lewis Hamilton was trying to chase down Nico Rosberg, who only needed to finish in third, and it was a Mercedes 1-2, and Lewis Hamilton slowed way the hell down for 50 of the 58 laps or however many it is. And it really tried to create tension and overtaking opportunities for people behind him. None of that ended up actually working at the end of the day. I think Rosberg came home in P2 and ended up winning the championship despite everything that Lewis did. And I still maintain that was still some of the best driving I've ever seen Lewis Hamilton do, from when the engine died in Malaysia to the end of that race, was some of the finest driving I've ever seen anybody do in a Formula One car. And he didn't win the title. So this is the decider. We're going to have it one way or another. So yeah, it's all here to fun to play for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We'll come on back. We'll tell you what we think is going to happen. It's the final prediction round. Who's going to take this puppy? And we'll tell you when and where to watch it. If you're in the United States, I got 2 words: up early, because this one is going to be very, very early in the AM. Come on back, and we'll get into all that.
You are listening to the Outlap F1 podcast, and we'll be right back after this quick pit stop. Grab your flu powder, broomstick, or apparate to your favorite audio streaming service to join the discussion on Hogwarts, a podcast, where Dan and his friends have in-depth chapter-by-chapter breakdowns of each Harry Potter novel. Join the group as they dive into the magical world and discuss plot points, analyze character development, and occasionally go off the rails. Whether you're a muggle who's new to the series or a pure-blood wizard who won't need a remember-all, Hogwarts, a podcast, brings everyone to the Great Hall for a magical discussion. Hogwarts, a podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back on in. This is, again, Season 7, Episode 45. Pretty confident in that one this time. Of the Outlap F1 podcast, it's our 2025. This is the title decider, baby. Here we go. The Abu Dhabi GP is upon us. We'll kick off with media stuff happening tomorrow, and then free practice 1 will take place really, really early if you're in the United States. You got to wake up dang early. I wonder if Kevin Kelly will be around. Let's just put it that way. It's one of those few times where we can do our thing and think we're the only 2 people awake watching Formula One. But that's not the case anymore. There's a lot of other people who do the same stuff with us, which is pretty cool. But anyway, we've talked about the track facts. We think the weather is going to be kind of just right down the middle. What do we think is going to happen? Here we go. The final title decider. We will start, as we are apt to do, with the pole sitter. And last year was a championship leader at this point, Lando Norris, who took the pole. Cody, what do you got for pole sitter? Who you got? I don't think I'm going to be surprised here.
No, at this point, I've lost our betting game here, and I'm going all in on the hype train that is behind Max Verstappen here. If he had pole, it would really help his case to win the championship. So I'm going in for that. Max Verstappen takes pole.
All right, very good. I'm going to go full homer here. When he's needed to dig deep, and he's found it this season, much more than other seasons that I've ever seen him. Yeah, there's still some mistakes, but when he needed to do it last year, he did it. I think we're going to see a repeat performance here. Not just emotionally saying it, but I'm going to take Lando Norris to take the pole. All right. And then what do we think the lap time is going to be? Last year's pole time was a 1:22.595. I'll go first on this one. I'm going to go slightly faster. I'm going to have a 1:22.087. Cody, what you got?
I'm going to go even slightly faster than you. Sometimes I've been underestimating just how much faster these cars are this year. So I'm going to go into the 121s with a 121.875.
All right, very good. So we think we're going to have some quick lap times. I tend to agree there. All right, here we go. Race prediction time. 2024 podium was Lando Norris, who ended up having to win to keep McLaren in the constructors' position to win last year, despite Carlos Sainz putting on the pressure and Charles Leclerc coming back from somewhere in Qatar where he started on the grid and ended up finishing P3 in one of the strangest lap ones that I can ever remember watching from my hotel room in Vegas on low definition television. Watching that go on was one of those strangest, like, you want to talk about jaw hitting floor? That was jaw hitting floor. Let's hope we don't have a repeat of that. But all right, man, what you got? Who's taking this thing?
So I'm still being realistic here, and I think that I think Lando Norris probably is going to win the championship. However, I think it's going to come down to the wire. So I've got it as Max Verstappen takes the win, Oscar Piastri comes in second place, and Lando Norris just holds on to enough points for the championship by finishing P.
Oh, you're gonna make my heart stop if that's how we're going. Lordy. All right. Well, he had to do it last year in the same situation, and it's pretty much the same thing. I gotta have faith. I ride with this kid on every freaking onboard. I'm not getting off of that now. Lando Norris to take the win. I think just as we would say Oscar Piastri is more of a specialist at Qatar, Lando's had the better of it amongst the two McLarens. I'm not counting it against Max. Max has obviously had a lot more wins than Lando has had at this track. But I think lately, in the design development of the two cars, I think the McLaren has the edge here going into the weekend. So I'm going to say Lando Norris for P1, Oscar Piastri for P2. I don't think the McLaren team orders, lack of them, do anything. But Max Verstappen is not going to go away. So I've got him coming home P3 as well. All right. I think you're just going to see your championship 3 kind of duke it out amongst and there's going to be the rest. After that. All right, fastest lap and the driver. Like we said, last year's fastest lap, the final point for the fastest lap goes to Kevin Magnussen. I remember that as kind of his salute and giant FU to the point system. A 125.637 as he put on the set of softs with like a lap to go. Well, what do we think the fastest lap is going to look like? I'll go first on this one. I got a 125.179. Cody, what you got?
I'm going to go just a little bit faster than Kevin Magnussen's time with a 1 minute 25.444 seconds.
Right, very good. All right, so for bonus picks, since we're doing the top 3, we might as well go all the way on this. And let's say, where do the final standings shake out? P4, P5, P6. I'll go first with this one. I do think the best of the non-championship contenders is going to be the Mercedes. I think George Russell will have a better weekend than maybe Kimi Antonelli here. This tends to favor the more experienced driver. So George Russell, then followed by Kimi Antonelli for P. And there's where I finally see a Ferrari. I know they have a whole island or a whole museum dedicated to Ferrari at Yas Marina. It's been a struggle bus, and I think Ferrari are going to be happy to see these regs go away. But Charles Leclerc will probably be the best of the Ferraris in P6. Cody, what's your thought?
My bonus picks are very, very similar to yours. I also have Russell in P4 and Antonelli in P5 for the same reason. I think that the Mercedes will do better here than the Ferraris for sure, but they're not going to be up to snuff with the McLarens or Max Verstappen. I think the Ferraris are going to be actually even more nowhere because I've got Fernando Alonso coming home in P.
Yeah, if he can put a lap together, he is qualified. This has been a place where there have been some weird qualifiers. I know last year Nico Hülkenberg, I think, was on P4 from qualifying. So we could see some odd things necessarily happen in the qualifying for sure. Where and when can you find your sessions this weekend? And oh boy, you got to wake up early in the morning to catch these. The practice 1 kicks off 4:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 3:30 here. That'll be on ESPN2. Practice 2 kicks off 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. That'll be on ESPNU or F1 TV. For the last time, I can say that for both of those because next year we're going to say Apple TV. Practice 3 will be 5:30 a.m. Eastern. That's on ESPN2. The final qualifying kicks off. You can sleep in a little bit on your Saturday. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. That's on ESPN2. And the race kicks off, this thing, the decider, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. Good luck to you. I've done that before. Yikes, it kind of sucks, but if your guy wins at the end, you can have the whole day to party. Let's put it this way. I won't be in a position to do the same stupid stuff I did last year when I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know that Andy is a super fan because he got up on Mountain Time to watch the finale after we'd partied it all night on Saturday.
The night before.
In Las Vegas.
Up for 24 consecutive hours. that day. It was not until 3 a.m. the next night that I came home and actually went back to, not home, to the hotel, and then went to sleep. And yikes. But let's just put it that way. It was a roller coaster of a day. We did a lot of fun stuff. We Vegased for sure. But anyway, that's another story for another time. We will next talk to you on the other side of this thing. We will have a championship winner dubbed 2025 Formula One Drivers Champion. We will know about it. We will come back to you on Sunday with the review of the race, the good, the bad, the ugly. Who knows who's going to want to rant and for what reasons? Who knows who's going to be super excited and for what reasons? You will not want to miss that for sure. We'll try to make it one for the ages, man. I will bring whatever energy I've got left in the rest of this Formula One season before we take a break and enjoy Christmas and everything else. But I'm going to be all over this one. If there is any significant news that breaks or anything over the course of the weekend, stay tuned to our social media. I'll try my best to try to stay on that. Like I said before, race day, I'm doing the setup, and then I go dark because I'm going to be massively intense watching. I am sure I will have my glass of water next to me, and that will be about it. And my timing screen and my onboards. And that's how I would recommend that you watch it if you want to do that, because that's, I think, the best way to get it all. But anyway, till the other side when we have a champion, man, stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, may all your laps be fast.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Outlap F1 podcast. If you like what you heard, click that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. If you want to connect with us outside of the show, check out our website at www.outlapf1.com. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at outlapf1 podcast, or email us at chatnow@outlapf1.com. As always, thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you on the next one.